My God, I just love that song. I just found that song. Simple Days. When a man was a man, when a friend was a friend, when you said what you meant and you meant what you said. My God, just remembering simple days and simple times. I could just stay right there. All right. Welcome to the J.A.M, everybody. You made it in. We're halfway through October. Welcome to GoGi's After Dinner Jam. I'm so glad you chose to be here. As usual, I see these conference calls as different flavors of ice cream, and you chose to be here. You used your free will, and remember, your free will is at stake. So continue to use it as long as we can. We're going to use it forever as far as I'm concerned. I sure hope so. So we're fighting for it. We're fighting against the establishment, okay? All right. So welcome in. Welcome to GoGi's After Dinner Jam. We started off with Simple Days by Babyface. Love that mood. Love that message. We can look back at simple times when people meant what they said and said what they meant. Lord have mercy. All right. So I'm coming today, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful because we're gelling. It's taken, over a year. It's taken for as long as we've been working at this, but I feel a synergy. I feel this, this synchronized energy in the midst, and I am so, so grateful for it. Let's keep it going. I hope you can feel it. Can you feel it? It's just like, right now when we say we're going to do something, we jump up and we get ready and do it. We have a bunch of leaders that are just willing and ready to, put their money where their mouth is. And I'm excited about that, and I'll tell you about that a little later. So with the energy, as we're moving about, there's also a bit of anxiety, a little tension. And remember, anxiety is not always bad, and it precedes change. When there's going to be change, you can feel a little anxiety first. For example, if you went to work and you came home and everything in your house was changed around, was moved around, you would feel some kind of way. You have to make adjustments, especially if you're a creature of habit, and a lot of us are. Or if you went to work and your department was changed. Commonly, you would just feel a bit anxious, concerned about the unknown. Who am I going to sit next to? Am I going to report to the same person? Where's my phone? Where's my computer? Is my login going to be okay? And I remember there was a time in New York with New York City schools, the scores were so poor. Everybody was so concerned about the scores. And so they would tell the principals, don't get too comfortable. Don't hang up your coat. You may be in this school today and another school tomorrow or another school next year or next month. It was, they wanted them, principals often felt like this is my school. They would stay there for years and years. But now they said, we're going to change things up. And that's like a two-edged sword, because when you have a principal or anybody that takes ownership for their school, they flourish. And well, that was a big pause. I'm so sorry. I have criminals that hack and watch me and interfere with my phone calls. I'm so sorry. But when principals invested in their schools, you get more out of them. They flourish. So it's the same thing with any person. If you get vested in something, you invest in an organization, you flourish. So that said, we are expecting change as TIs, and change is on the horizon as expecting it, we also know that we can't wait for it to happen, but it's accompanied by a little bit of anxiety. Healthy fear of the unknown is not always a bad thing. Some of us are fearful of what's going to happen. We're afraid of the what, why, when, who's, like what's going to make it happen, who's going to make it happen, how's it going to happen, when's it going to happen, what exactly is going to happen. And the main thing is to focus on what we do know and what we can control, and that is preparation. So get ready. Continue to journal, continue to document, continue to preserve yourself, to pray for us all, and also to prepare, okay? And try to be as much as peace as possible, all right? Change is inevitable. I believe that freedom is at hand. So be encouraged. I'm going to open up with whatever is on your mind today. So there's no question. You could just open up and greet everybody with just a statement about how you're feeling, what do you think is getting ready to happen, and just whatever's on your mind, all right? And keep it short. Thank you. All right, welcome to GoGi's After Dinner Jam. So glad you made it in. If you have noise in your background, please mute yourself now so we don't have to boot you later, and it'll be a good time for us all. All right, so you're going to open up with name, city, and state, and what's on your mind. Let's go.
Well, I know.
Hi, everybody. I hear somebody's phone, somebody's television.
I'm not seeing anything up higher.
We'll wait. All right, thank you. All right. Please announce yourself. Wait. Somebody is moving around in their kitchen, just lounging around with all this noise in the background. Can you please mute yourself? Thank you. Please announce yourself, city and state you're from, and what's on your mind tonight. Welcome to GoGi's After Dinner Jam. Anybody?
Hi, GoGi. This is T from Arkansas.
Hi. How are you? Welcome to the jam.
I'm great. I am feeling excited. I feel a movement on, and I feel unity in the community now.
All right. I love it.
So I feel a strong winning coming our way. That's what I feel.
Ooh, I love it, Major. I'm going to call you Major T.
Hello.
Lady T, I love it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Things are moving in our favor, and this program is going to be exposed.
I believe it. I really, really believe it. Thank you for that.
It's time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is daggone time. All right, I heard bass in the building. Go ahead, sir.
My name is Antonov.
Hi, Antonov.
Good afternoon to all you guys. I'm from Rhode Island.
You're from where?
Rhode Island.
Oh, okay. Rhode Island.
Yeah. I'm tired, guys. Like I'm tired. You know. As a black man, I'm a Haitian American, and I've been targeted for the past 5 years, and you know, like if slavery was not enough for black people, like I still can't believe it's real, it's happening. But that's another discussion. But basically what I really want to, my suggestion for tonight, it's like we need to revolt. We need a revolution by any means necessary. Because it's just like, I'm pretty sure lots of other TI are tired that every year we all come and try to console each other and try, like, oh, it will end, this will end, this and that. And it's over and over and over again, like, and I hope this year or this time is the time that we really mean it. This, like you said, the program can be exposed. The problem is me alone by myself, yes, people can basically, can actually have a point of think I'm crazy. But if hundreds or to 1,000 people, try to explain to society what's going on, there's a way, it's possible, for example, like, you can't tell me like 100 TI can't go to a Sunday services to any church and go there and ask to talk to the pastor while everybody's there and explain what's going on, and 100 of us, and then rally all over and involve as much people from pastors to church to everybody as much as possible to what is going on. So I just can't understand how so many TI, have time to actually talk about, the crime, but won't be able to make the first move and get together and do something about it. And,
okay.
We need a revolt.
All right. I got it. Thank you, Antoinette. Thank you for your commentary, and I get exactly what you're saying, and you're absolutely right. They can say that you're crazy by yourself, but if you have a group of people, especially 100 people, saying the same thing, they cannot just dismiss you. Absolutely. And we do have more credibility in numbers, and so we have to stick together and do things. I want you to make sure you hang around the J.A.M. because we have some exciting things coming up tonight, and we have some movement going on that I'm really excited about. So thank you for your commentary. First time I heard somebody in Rhode Island, so welcome to the J.A.M. All right, guys. All right.
Can I just
Anybody
say something
else?
real quick? Yeah, Susan
Hello?
from Alabama. I have found out that, hey, girl, I'm excited about doing our TV show next week.
Yes.
I'm noticed that sadly, churches are involved in this program.
Mm-hmm. Yes, unfortunately, sometimes it's you know what I find with that, Susan, though, is that just like we heard that red flag, that memo that leaked about red flagging the Catholic churches. I believe that they've already infiltrated some of the other churches, and that's why we're having the problems that we have. That's why they're in their gang stalking, because they put them there to do that. So, and then some people are perked into doing it and pressured into doing it, and they go to church, and they're still doing it. So, yes, they're in the churches as well. They're all over. They're in the grocery store. They're in our jobs. They're in our neighborhoods. And, yes, they're in the church, unfortunately. Do you have another commentary? Thank you for being on the J.A.M, Susan, from Alabama.
You're welcome, sister.
All right, now. Talk to you soon. All right, next caller, please. Anybody?
Good evening, Twinnie.
Good evening, Twinnie.
And you know where I'm from already, the city of God, amen, Niagara Falls, New York. I'm just thinking today that I am so thankful that God's grace will never leave you where he won't keep you. And, tonight I am just so thankful that no matter what we go through, our Redeemer lives. God is still on the throne. He's still in control. He's still giving strength to the weary, to the weak. And, I am just so thankful that he continues to give us what we need every day as we are going through this program. God is our source. He is our ultimate problem solver. Amen. So I am just encouraged tonight that, we don't know what brings, what happens tomorrow, who holds, what tomorrow holds, rather. But we know, praise God, who holds tomorrow. So with that being said, God bless you, Twinnie, and God bless everyone.
Thank you so much for that, Sister Samia. Thank you. Her calls are Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, and as you see, it's about God being the problem solver. Thank you for that. And yes, thank God He doesn't leave us at a time like this, because it is treacherous. There are treacherous things going on. All right? There's no mercy either, so be careful, everyone. All right, next person. Anybody else?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, sir.
This is Ethan from West Virginia.
Hi, Ethan from West Virginia.
Hello, how are you?
Okay. You have a big echo on your phone, Ethan, so I'm going to let you say what you need to say, if possible. Go ahead.
I'll just wait till later in the meeting. I'll see if I can fix the echo.
Okie dokie. Thank you for being on the call.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, now. All right, anybody else before we go into the news?
Hi, GoGi.
Hi.
Hello, this is Tamara from New Jersey, and I love your calls, and I'm just glad to be a part of the community, and you're doing an awesome work for the TI Justice. Yeah, I really appreciate you personally.
Thank you. Your name is Tamara, you said, from New Jersey?
Yes, Tamara Williams from New Jersey.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining the call, Tamara. And I hope you listen out for when we do a New York meetup so that you'll be there.
Oh, I would love to.
Okay, great. All right. Anybody else? Welcome to the J.A.M.
Tanya from Australia. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Australia. How you doing, Tanya?
I'm doing the best I can. I hope everybody's doing good. Hi, GoGi. I hope you're doing well over there. Yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being on the J.A.M. Thank you. All right, guys. We're going to pull it down. We're going to reel it in. All right. Okay, so I only have a little bit of news that was selected tonight. And we're going to talk a little bit with Lady T and then prepare for our guest. But before then, I wanted to listen to this announcement, and I want to make it clear that this is a GoGi's After Dinner Jam conference call. And so in particular, since this may seem like a political statement, but I'm looking at all of the candidates, and I'm picking out statements that they say that support us. And if I continue to show you or let you hear the same one, it's because that candidate continues to say things that point in our direction. And I'm sure you'll agree when you hear these statements. So, Lady T, are you ready with our first clip?
Yes, I'm ready, GoGi.
All right, let's go.
Second, we will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, and there are plenty of them. The departments and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled so that faceless bureaucrats will never again be able to target and persecute conservatives, Christians, or the left's political enemies, which they're doing now at a level that nobody can believe even possible. Third, we will totally reform FISA courts, which are so corrupt that the judges seemingly do not care when they are lied to in warrant applications. So many judges have seen so many applications that they know were wrong, but at least they must have known. They do nothing about it. They're lied to. Fourth, to expose the hoaxes and abuses of power that have been tearing our country apart, we will establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and corruption. And there are plenty of them.
All right. So if you take apart or if you really dissect what he's saying, he's talking partially about our program, about the Targeted Individual Program. He's talking about the deep state, the FISA court, which allows them to get to surveil us without warrants. He's talking about the deep state, which is behind this evil program, and just the weaponization against the American people. So he's mentioning things that are relevant to TIs, and if he gets in and does these things, then we'll be in a much better place. Tulsi Gabbard is talking about it because of the Quiet Skies program that she's involved with. When I heard her talk about, and we listened to the tape not too long ago, when I heard her talk about that she's not only screened when she first gets to the airport, but also when she gets to, just before she shows her ticket to get on, they screen her again, and with dogs and so forth. It's just, unreal. And then we know they were following around the air marshals, federal air marshals, who are like some of our top guns and top clearance and top their ability is so high and so forth. They were following around a baby, so it's like this is so unheard of. And I believe that former President Trump is talking about dealing with these issues. So it's a good thing to hear, and I would love to hear candidates that talk about that, because they're talking about the big elephant in the room, and he's not afraid to do it. He talked about the judges, that when things come across their desk, they've got to know that they're fake and they're too afraid to say something. So with support, I believe they'll speak up. All right, so that was our one of the clips that we wanted to show. And the second one, and we only have two tonight, I'll just have very few before we get into our guests, and I want to talk a little bit about some of the action that we're taking and some of the homework, and then we're going to go to our guests. But first we want to play another clip, and this is with Maria, who we've been working a little bit with on the Billboard project. And we just heard this, and Lady T and I heard it, and we talked about it a little bit. So we'll share some of our conversation with you about that. Let's go, Lady T.
Privacy breach of the patient. So if you're a patient inside of a hospital, this is where the most important aspects are for an individual that might have been implanted through consent by a form. They would provide it to you in the hospital if you're going in for surgery or any sort of procedure that might lead to invasive procedures or putting you under or giving you an injection for a sickness or something, antibiotics, anything that will lead to an injection, because these injections can happen. Marie, you want to explain the injections a little bit? You want to talk about that?
So some of the implants could be inhalable, injectables, or ingestibles. So a lot of us believe our healthcare provider has our best intentions in heart. Well, through the federal funding and other independent contractors, a lot of the victims have found out that through a surgical procedure or a routine visit to the hospital where they believe the doctors, without full informed consent, have injected them with what they think is a treatment, and finding out that they're implants that is used to trap or cause harm. Most of these neuroweapons and bioweapons are responding to a receiver or the bioresidency through their DNA or mutation. Some of the implants are noticeable on x-rays. Some of them are not noticeable on x-rays because they're on a microscopic level. some of the technology mutates their DNA, so now they're produced to cause harm because now their body is constantly trying to fight out a foreign object. These implants could be in the head, in the back of the shoulders, in the hands, their arms, their legs, their private areas, in their vital organs, their heart, their liver, the kidney, their intestinal tract, behind the ears, inside their eyes. So this is a raising concern, and a lot of the foreign objects, first of all, if any of them were found in the body by X-rays or ultrasound or any other mechanical devices that detect the presence of a foreign object, it is your doctor's duty to let you know that there's a foreign object in there. And the second thing, before they do any type of medical treatment or implantation, you are entitled to full informed consent.
Yeah, so informed consent is very important in the compliance with HIPAA, which HIPAA extends all the way out to the all healthcare providers, including federal agencies, are all included of the HIPAA compliance. So that's a major part of aspect of what's going on is, people are consenting somewhere and they're being, or they just be illegally implanted without consent at all.
Right.
So there's
medical information, any type of your biological or medical information should not be shared with anybody without your full consent.
Yeah, and there's a difference between consent and informed consent. Informed consent would be them telling you the procedure. Consent is basically just signing a document saying that you consent to whatever it is that they got. So there are some legalities to that, but to protect yourself, just read the paperwork.
Okay. So they raise a real important issue, and that is that of HIPAA. And when I think about the fact that we are surveilled 24/7, obviously they break this, they violate this stipulation over and over again. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about it, Lady T, because I know you work in that field and you're familiar with the regulations. So first, just, we throw the word around so loosely, HIPAA. What precisely is HIPAA?
Okay. HIPAA, I'm going to read this rule summary to you from OCR. The standards for privacy of individually identifiable health information establishes for the first time a set of national standards for the protection of certain health information. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, issued the privacy rule to implement the requirements of the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1966, HIPAA. The privacy rule standards address the use and disclosure of individuals' health information, called protected health information, by organizations subject to the privacy rule, called covered entities, as well as standards for individuals' privacy rights to understand and control how their information is used. When HHS, the Office for Civil Rights, OCR, has responsibility for implementing and enforcing the privacy rules with respect to voluntary compliance, activities, and civil money penalties. A major goal of the privacy rule is to assure that individuals' health information is properly protected while allowing the flow of health information needed to provide and promote high-quality care and to protect public health and well-being.
Wow.
And that's what HIPAA is.
I love it.
Okay, and I work in the medical field as a biller. And I have access to hundreds of thousands of patients' information on a daily basis. As being a targeted individual, it concerns me because I know that they can obtain this data by viewing through my eyes. So what I have done is I've taken my computer and wrapped my screens with Faraday so that I can still visibly see. But that being in this program, it makes my job even harder because now I have to look through Faraday to see my data.
Wow.
I work with patients. Go ahead.
You do that to protect your clients, the people, the patient's information.
Yes.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Because on a daily basis, with them viewing the information that I'm looking at through my eyes, they are committing a crime.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm.
And they violating the HIPAA law altogether because they can see everything. I mean, I'm looking at patients' Social Security numbers, birthdays, addresses, their family information, diagnosis, CPT codes,
mm-hmm.
and the nature, and like if the patient is homeless, that's vital information as well.
Right. Honestly, when I think about that, it reminds me of the fact that when we're free, after we're free from the major crime, just, being free from the infraction itself, there are going to be so many subsequent lawsuits like this one. And I think you said OCR or OHR, whoever is responsible for overseeing the HIP. Is responsible for overseeing and controlling, making sure that people have this privacy. And this whole program run by the government violates their own, some of their own rules. What about personally? Does it affect you personally?
Yes, it does affect me personally. Mm-hmm. It does because of the simple fact that they monitor us 24/7 a day. I mean, daily. And when you go into your own personal doctor's visits, they can listen in on a private conversation that you're having with your doctor. It's almost embarrassing because nothing is private. And then it makes it worse because your doctors are not aware that the HIPAA privacy law is being violated. So they hearing the tests you have to take. They hearing very personal things that you may share with your physician. They enter in the room like you gave them consent to be there. So they breaking a lot of HIPAA rules, and it's embarrassing, and it's you're not sure what you can do about it.
Right, and they interfere with it. I remember, I'm reminded of a conversation I had earlier, and just sometime if you're trying to get a particular test, results from a test, and they don't want you to have results from that test, they will block the results from the test. And I will maybe I'll have them come on. I know two people in particular that have been trying to get an exam or lab results, and they've been blocked from getting them. And so not only do they hear and are aware and have access to this by being at our appointments, they also collude with the physicians. They collude with the people that are there in the offices, and they interfere with our lab work, with medication. It's just, that is going to be like, we have like layers of lawsuits just layers and layers and layers because the thing is so deep, and it's just going to be amazing. I thank you even for trying to cover up your screen to prevent them from seeing and to protect your patients. That's a wonderful thing. And and then yet that it's affecting you as well. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And not only that, to abide by the HIPAA law, when an insurance company requests medical records, I have to send a signed documentation by the patient to the insurance to give them those records.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just, the insurance company want the medical records, just send them to them. I can't do that. I have to send the consent form first.
Right.
To show that the patient said it is okay to send these records.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can't do it without the patient's signature.
Right. Right. I know even when we request records, they make us sign something to say that we're requesting our own records because of the strict HIPAA laws. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these things are put in place to help us and to protect our privacy, and yet our privacy is being violated constantly. And I remember saying to the J.A.M once before that even when we're on the phone, we're buying something, we're saying our credit card number out loud. Some places that we call, we have to say our Social Security number out loud. Mm-hmm. And first of all, there's been so many breaches, even lately, with the Social Security numbers. We should be entitled to new Social Security numbers if we like, to new personal information if we choose to, because of this breach. It's such a deep, invasive breach, and they have to be held accountable for it. But thank you. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with my own personal information, you bringing up, you having to say your Social Security number out loud, and my Social Security number has been used to apply for unemployment, not once, but twice. They also used it to fill out credit cards in my name. So, they violating all over the place, even addresses in another state that I've never lived before, that I had to remove from my credit report.
Mm-hmm. As you say that, years ago, I remember somebody bought a car in my name in another state. Yeah, thank God they were paying for it, but they bought a car. They used my credit and information to purchase a car. So it, this is and this program enables all of that, and it violates our personal rights and information.
And this is
Mm-hmm.
And I also want to share, GoGi, for research. Read this. What I found for research purposes.
Okay.
For research, research is a systematic investigation designed to develop or contribute to generalizable knowledge. The privacy rule permits a covered entity to use and disclose protected health information for research purposes without an individual's authorization, provided the covered entity obtains either documentation that an alteration or waiver of an individual's authorization for the use or disclosure of protected health information about them for research purposes has been approved by the Institutional Review Board or Privacy Board.
Yes, I was reading about that. There is that ties into that new FDA ruling as well. I don't know if that's it, but which says that if they find that the person will be basically okay physically, and that the study will be beneficial to society, they can include us in a study without informed consent, basically. And which may include, they don't say this, but which may include implants. If it's going to be a study, they may have to put an implant in to monitor and track and and get data from so that they have information about the study without us knowing. And they don't have to tell us, but they have to hold an internal or institutional review board meeting.
Yes.
And that's why one of the things which has been on our homework assignment forever is to do a FOIA for IRBs that were on us at every hospital, every medical institution that we've been in to do a procedure, a surgery, to find out if they held an IRB, because that might explain some of the things that we have, foreign objects that we have in our bodies. And I think that's very important. So I'm going to work on a template for it, because I want to cite that rule that you just said. I'm going to ask you to send that to me, because I want to cite that and as a means of saying this is why we need and want the information. So let's work on that. I think that'll be really important, and each person should do it to find out.
And I think it would be a great idea to contact the OCR too, and the HHS regarding our HIPAA law, regarding the HIPAA law and our privacy.
Wow. Okay, that's a thought. My thought there is we have to prove that we're being surveilled. So proving that can be an issue, right? So, that's going to go into that. Well, have you had a mental health check lately? They may start playing around with that. So we have to be careful with that.
I believe. Oh, I'm under the let me see. I'm under the intent.
There's no way to say it, and that's how the program is designed, so that when you start talking about it, you sound, really crazy. So we can't say, well, I'm being followed, somebody's watching everything I do, so I know that they're violating the HIPAA laws, and but when all is said and done, and when it's exposed, and when people understand the essence of this evil program, and that they have been everywhere we are, especially with you and what you're working with, and also with us in our doctor's offices, it's going to show that it has violated our human rights, constitutional rights, every right that we have as free human beings and civilians in the United States of America. It's just a total disregard for that. All right, so any other final thoughts, Lady T?
Well, basically do the best you can in protecting your personal information. Try not to openly put your credit card numbers on your phone. What I do, because I know they can see through my eyes, I don't use my phone flat out. I turn it up and kind of put my numbers in with my phone standing up, and I'm looking down at the phone. So I don't think they can see it when it's like that. I look down at my phone, but the phone, I'm not looking at the face of the phone. So I put my information in sideways. If you all can picture out what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So,
well, I cover my camera. I cover the camera because sometimes they just look through it. And our guest is going to get into how they use our phones and how they see through everything. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Yeah. So we're going to get into that a little deeper, and he's going to have some tips as to how we can try to keep this information from them the best that we can. Listen, we are regular civilians. They are the military, the government, with military-grade weaponry and all kinds of technologies and so forth, and we're just doing the best we can, making it by day. So, Lady T, thank you so much. Thank you for being here every week, helping out. And guess what, guys? Yesterday was her birthday. Happy birthday to you, my dear.
Thank you.
39 again, huh?
39 again.
39 again. All right now.
Just be safe out there, do the best you can in protecting your data.
Amen. All right, thank you. All right, guys. So there you have it with HIPAA. So that was a good interview, Maria. We thank you for that. And I want to just mention a few things before we get into our guests. First, we're going to take a commercial break, and then I want to talk about a few lawsuits, and we're going to get ready for our guests. All right, so the commercial, please.
Welcome to TIEvents.org, your official insider for the targeted individual community. As the go-to source for all TI events, we're here to keep you in the loop with the latest and greatest happenings. Discover daily conference calls, meetups, and exclusive events across the USA, all at your fingertips. Plus, planning a TI event? Advertise with us for free and connect directly with the TI community. TIEvents.org is not just a website. It's your gateway to a world of information, connection, and empowerment for TIs everywhere. TIEvents.org, your official insider. Dive in and discover today.
Yes. Okay. And Lady T said she's going to send us the penalties. Very important, because there are penalties associated with violating those HIPAA laws. Okay? We need to know that. Thank you. That'll be great. Keep that, and we're going to mention that information so that everybody will have it in case they have some kind of lawsuit in reference to HIPAA. Perhaps you've been violated in some way. All right, so you know that we have been studying successful lawsuits from the past, and one thing I've noticed is that they constantly settle out of court. So when they settle out of court, it looks like the lawsuit is dismissed. And it looks like it's dismissed because of something fantastical or fanciful or all these fancy dancy things. But actually what they did have enough information, they did have enough evidence for it to warrant them a huge settlement, millions of dollars typically, out of court. But on paper and in the courtroom, it looks like they were dismissed for whatever reason. What is this one that I see a lot? Oh God, I can't think of the legal term. But they'll dismiss the lawsuit and then they'll settle out of court. And then they also sign some kind of NDA or gag order or something. So we hear through the grapevine how much people make and so forth. And what we studied, the first three I had heard about were James Walbert, Catherine Horton, and Richard Kane. And so we did James Walbert. I did that once before, and Tori did it not too long ago. And we also studied Catherine Horton. I think I reviewed that one. And Richard Kane I want to review tonight because I have been looking for his. And I really want the full lawsuit, but I really have something that I'm going to share with us. We're going to review that, and then we're going to get ready for our guests. So let's look at Richard Kane, who settled out of court, and he won millions. And then we also wanted to do Dawn DeVore. So Tori mentioned something. He reviewed that last week, I believe, or recently, and I want to dig a little deeper in that. For some reason, that one is staying on my mind. So, okay, but let's look at Richard Kane for now. And so Richard Kane and I look at who his defendant was. He just did Kane versus Obama. So sometimes you could go just straight against the president. And he did it in California, the District of California, in August of 2014. Okay. So here's the background. Plaintiff paid, I'm going to skip that. He did it pro se. He paid the filing fee. Civil rights complaint. Let me skip here. The 83-page complaint is accomplished by voluminous attachments. Plaintiff purports to sue the President of the United States, the United States Department of Defense, the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, the United States Navy, Space, and Naval Warfare Systems Command, and the United States Communications, a private foundation, private healthcare entities, individual healthcare professionals, unknown federal agents, and 100 fictitious Doe defendants. I love that Doe defendants because you don't always have to know who it is. You just put Jane or John Doe. Plaintiff alleges that various federal agencies have caused military-grade biomedical devices to be implanted in the bodies of plaintiff and his 2 minor children. These radio frequency devices allegedly permit defendants to control and track plaintiff's movements, control or alter plaintiff's mind, and cause plaintiff to suffer physically. The supposed devices allegedly make plaintiff appear mentally ill. The government defendants also allegedly conducted surveillance on plaintiff and used military aircraft and police and fire department sirens to attempt to cause plaintiff to suffer a mental breakdown. Plaintiff's alleged use of shielding devices assertedly foiled defendant's alleged plan to cause plaintiff to suffer a mental breakdown. I wonder what devices he was using. Okay, the healthcare defendants allegedly falsified the results of various medical examinations purportedly conducted on plaintiff and his children in order to conceal the alleged presence of the implanted devices. This alleged falsification supposedly was part of an asserted conspiracy to conceal the government defendants' alleged use of implants to monitor and control plaintiff and his children and to cause them pain. Defendants allegedly triggered the devices on days, now listen to this, containing a 9 or a 1, and on the days before and after September 11. Defendants also allegedly triggered the devices during plaintiff's deposition in connection with a state court case which plaintiff assertedly brought against some defendants. Defendants also allegedly conspired to frame plaintiff for crimes he allegedly did not commit and to label him a person of interest supposedly involved in criminality. Plaintiff alleges that removal of the devices would cause his death. Typically, claims such as those alleged by plaintiff have been asserted by indigent plaintiffs and have suffered swift dismissal as frivolous under the federal Informa Pauperis, oh my God, Pauperis, Pauperis statute. Okay, I'm going to have to look that one up. Or its predecessor. And they name some cases. So the cases they name, I'm not going to name the cases, but it says this is the different cases. One, this case was upholding dismissal of complaint, alleging that federal judges and others subjected the plaintiff to a voice-to-skull technology. Federal judges now and others subjected the plaintiff to a voice-to-skull technology, and they dismissed the case. Upholding dismissal of frivolous complaint, alleging plaintiff was subject to electromagnetic torture. Remanding for the dismissal of complaint, alleging that plaintiff was the victim of a conspiracy involving various employers, the Teamsters, people of Indian descent, Amtrak police, and armed secret agents. Okay, upholding dismissal of frivolous complaint, alleging that zealot, fanatical women employed by the FBI and CIA used laser beam technology against plaintiff. Allegations that FBI implanted biochips in plaintiff and her family to turn them into a living vegetable or a New World Order slave were so fantastic and fanciful as to be clearly baseless. I'm reading various cases without naming the cases, but these are the comments and how they were dismissed. Dismissing as frivolous complaints which alleged that Starbucks joined law enforcement agencies and other commercial establishments to administer a chemical to plaintiff to prevent him from stalking. Wow. Okay. Plaintiff alleged the government used satellite to put Hollywood voices in her head to instruct her to molest and kill her son. Dismissing as frivolous a complaint alleging that defendants inserted a camera into the plaintiff and conducted cosmic and weight gain experiments on her. 2 NATO member states allegedly picked plaintiff's head, publicly aired his thoughts and mumblings, and caused him to be besieged by older women. United States Navy and plaintiff's employer allegedly harassed plaintiff by means of hypnosis, placement of electronic receivers into plaintiff's sinuses, head, pelvis, and rectum, placement of equipment in plaintiff's home to induce sleep deprivation, and use of shock discipline. Government allegedly surgically placed monitoring devices in plaintiff's brain to record his dreams for law enforcement agencies and made him an experiment for sex therapy. Allegedly conspired to harass plaintiff by means of electroshock therapy, telekinesis, voice synthesizers, hypnotism, mental telepathy, and cybernetics. University employees allegedly monitored plaintiff and exposed her thoughts to the public by use of microwaves and lasers, used drugs, microwaves, lasers, or hypnosis to induce artificial noises and smells in plaintiff, and retarded plaintiff's ability to take New York and District of Columbia bar examinations. Plaintiff presently is not, okay, let me see. Okay. However, okay, let me see. This is the one that they always use often, that the claim lacks subject matter jurisdiction, and that they are so insubstantial, implausible. Okay. Okay. Let me just see. There's a few more, but you kind of get it. Okay. Court lacks subject matter jurisdiction over claims that are essentially fictitious, obviously frivolous, or obviously without merit. May dismiss, okay. And plaintiff's frivolous, delusional, and fanciful. See the words that they continue to be used. Allegations do not confer subject matter jurisdiction on this court. So it's not really. It's very simple for them to just pull these words out. They know which ones they can pick. Court lacked jurisdiction over claims that CIA subjected plaintiff to voice-to-skull technology as a mind control weapon. Dismissing paid complaint which alleged that government agents transmitted from their bodies electromagnetic, extremely low frequency radio energy from master satellites. plaintiff alleged the various defendants, including the United States Department of Justice, Ted Kennedy, Neil Diamond, Nancy Reagan, and there's a whole list of people, Johnny Mathis, Andy Williams, Janet Reno, I don't know what his name, Charles Barkley, the Arizona governor, the Arizona attorney general, and the list goes on. David Stern even had assaulted the plaintiff using electronic and satellite equipment, contaminated the plaintiff with germs, and conspired to dictate whom she should marry. Court dismissed the action for lack of subject matter jurisdiction because the allegations were so bizarre and delusional that they were wholly insubstantial. Sounds like somebody was listening to her V2K. Dismissing paid complaint as frivolous, where plaintiff alleged prison officials implanted telepathic mind control device in his brain to control his mind and bodily functions. Okay, so these were cited, and the order for these were cited in the case in reference to Richard Kane, and the order is for the foregoing reasons, for all those reasons, the action is dismissed without prejudice for lack of subject matter jurisdiction. And that was in August of 2014. And all we know is they took it out of court. Kane has other lawsuits as well. Okay, they took it out of court and they paid him. They settled with him. All right? So, but Richard Kane, as we heard, was for the implant, and they said he had lots of attachments. He had just attachments, so he probably had proof. You know, he probably had scans and proof where they were and so forth. But it's not unusual for a case to be dismissed even when you have credible evidence and or not heard. Okay? So I just wanted to mention that case, and we're going to continue our study. I'm going to double back to Dawn DeVore, and if there's any case that you all would like to study, then just let me know. We'll be studying them for a while. There's some cases coming up that I think you're going to be very excited about. And what's important with cases is to get as much tangible evidence as possible and still know that it's really about to see if they're going to stand up and be brave enough to stand up against this corruption or not. And really take a good fine look at the evidence that is displayed. Okay, so taking a good fine look at the evidence would also be willing to admit guilt, so it's easier to say, oh, that sounds fantastical. Oh, Voiceless Skull can't be, but look at how many cases we just named. All these people that presented cases and with proof and information, some probably did not have proof, but they know that they were hearing voices and they knew it wasn't them. All right. Okay, so I just wanted to share that, and I want to mention a few things. First, I think we'll take a commercial break, and then I'm going to mention a few things, and then we'll get ready for our guests. Thank you. Commercial.
Are you feeling like something strange is happening in your life? You tell others, but nobody believes you? Well, get ready to uncover the truth with GoGi Justice's groundbreaking book, GoGi's 10 Signs Which Indicate You're a Targeted Individual. GoGi Justice, an everyday person just like you, has written a book that exposes the covert illegal activities happening right under our noses. With a writing style that's raw, honest, and relatable, GoGi takes you on a journey through the dark world of targeted individuals. You'll ask yourself if you are experiencing these signs. Learn about infiltration, gang stalking, privacy violations, and even hacked home appliances. GoGi's book is a beacon of hope, providing encouragement, tips, and resources for those who find themselves trapped in this nightmare. It's time to fight back and regain control of your life. So if you're tired of feeling isolated, unheard, and targeted, grab a copy of GoGi's 10 Signs which indicate you're a targeted individual. Available now on Amazon.com and the Targeted Justice Etsy shop. Don't let them silence you any longer. Take the first step towards understanding, empowerment, and freedom. Get your copy today and join the movement. GoGi Justice's book, A Voice for the Targeted Individuals.
All right. Don't forget to get your copy and also to check out TI events for all the TI events that are taking place. All right, so we wanted to look, I just wanted to mention Sir Dan is not here tonight. If you are a praying person, please lift up his mom and pray for him and his family because he doesn't miss a day. Matter of fact, he's usually the first one on the call, so please lift him up and his family. And I want to send a thank you to all the Jamsters who were making it possible, and I want to extend the invitation for everyone, to everyone. We're putting up a billboard. We want it to be in the D.C. area in a place where the elected officials will see it, and it'll be a billboard that represents us and what we're going through. And we needed 13 people to commit to $50 a month for the year, and we have 10. One meeting, and we had 10 people. So we're looking for three people at $50 a month for the year, and we're looking for one person at $20 per month to fill someone else who's paying $30. Okay, so if you can, please send an email to me at the Justice Action Meeting at proton.me, the Justice Action Meeting at proton.me, and I'll be ever so grateful. So I'm so proud of everyone who agreed. I don't want to name names because I didn't ask permission, but I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. And thank you for the ones who send in information all the time, J.A.M, Liliana, everybody, Major P, Roger, Lady T, everybody who sends information. I hate naming names. I should have to write this down. All right, and the phones, we're up to somewhere between 12 and 15 phones that we have for anybody who needs it. If you're there, Constance, please reach out to me because I know, people are just so ruthless. When she made her move, she moved from one place to another. First, they stole her computer, which was designed for her. If you know Constance, she's blind, but the computer was designed for her, and during the move, the guy stole the computer. And second, now someone has stolen her cell phone. So I'm asking, so we have one for you, Constance, and also Roger is looking into something with the Office of the Blind to see what we can do about your computer. So please reach out. All right? And the resource directory, everybody, please continue to send in information to the J.A.M project at proton.me so that we can pull together resources in different areas for everybody, but in particular for our TIs. Okay? Because we know we have a lot of TIs that are living in their cars and that this program intentionally tries to neutralize them, take their money, and keep them unemployed, keep us unemployed, and so forth. All right, and I want to tell you about two events, and then we're going to get ready for Teodoro, Ted. And the events are, we had a discussion, some of the leaders were talking, and we're planning to go to the inauguration. We know that this election is going to be very, very important to us as TIs. We want to be, as Antoinette was saying, we want to be free, and we're willing to do something about it. We have to make moves, and we need to move in large groups as opposed to small groups. So We're going to go to the inauguration and raise awareness about ourselves, who we are, what's going on, and just let our voices be heard. And we're also going to have a National Watch List Day, and that will be shortly after the inauguration. So as soon as the elected officials go back into session, if they don't leave session, if they come back, if the inauguration is the 20th, which is also King Day, and they are in session on that Tuesday the 21st, then during that week will be our National Watch List Day, and will be Watch Listed Day, and we will make noise, hand out flyers, have banners and chants, and just let it be known that this new administration we expect to be seen, heard, and dealt with. So if you'd like to be a part of it, we divided the United States up into 6 regions, and thank you to Major P and to Roger for stepping up, and they're going to co-lead this event, and because I'm focusing on some other things, so they're going to co-lead this event, and I thank them, and I'm going to let them report out about it next week. We've also reaching out to every other TI organization for help and assistance and participation so that we can collaborate. We reached out to PACS. We expect to hear back from them, and I'm going to reach out to everyone. So I will keep everyone apprised of that, and I'll meet with those leaders so that they can have meetings and that we can have, our goal is to have 30 to 50, or if we can get 100, that'll be great in each state. But 30 to 50 we would consider a success at the same time, using the same information, the same chants, and spreading the word of and raising awareness. And we also want to make sure that there's someone roving around to live stream the event. All right, so that will take place in January. Please stay tuned for more information and details about that. And if you have a special skill or interest in getting involved, please let us know. And the billboard, as soon as we get it, we'll send pictures and so forth. We'll post it on tievents.org. And we're working on actually a website so that we can put all this information as well, so we don't clutter up everybody else's. All right. I think those are all the announcements I have. I hope I didn't forget anything. If I did, I'll bring it back up. And I want to welcome our guest tonight. Teodoro, are you there?
I'm here, GoGi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You sound loud and clear. Thank you.
Good.
Mm-hmm. So I want to welcome you to the J.A.M. And I'm going to do this interview style. I'm going to start you out with some simple questions, and then we'll take it from there. You ready?
Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay. So I always like to ask, and the reason I ask this because I know that young people, children, they have all these big dreams. You ask them what they want to be when they grow up, and it's all this big stuff. So when you were a young boy, Ted, what did you want to be when you grew up?
So when I was young, I've always been creative. So I can somewhat draw. That was the spectrum that I kind of liked. I remember a toy. I don't know if you guys remember it, called Mousetrap. It's a little ball that goes around through the maze and then eventually catches a mouse at the end. And I was always intrigued by all the gadgets and how it operated. And then I found out that the person that invented it made money and whatnot, so invention always stayed in my head. Later down the road, I was struggling with back pains. This is when I got older. I was struggling with back pains. I was a owner-operator, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to continue driving. This is before I knew I was a targeted individual and so forth, and the back pains that I've been going through for years was linked to that, and was it something natural? So then I came up with an idea. I was dating somebody. I kind of got aha moment during that relationship with one of their friends, and I actually came up with a product, and I moved forward and I patented it. It's a female urination device. It's a funnel. It's called a FUD, female urination device. It's a patent in office, and it's a funnel that allows women to urinate from the standing position, and then they can dispose of it once it's done.
Okay, so wait a minute now. So you created a FUD, a female urination device, so that women can stand up and urinate.
Correct. I got the patent back in 2011. In 2013, I finalized with China. I outsourced out of China to get this product created and packaged and made. I also got the name trademarked. I got the logo trademarked. Everything was pretty much done, and shipped out from China. I ended up purchasing 50,000 units. I bought 5,000 single packs and 15,000 packs of threes. Now I'm literally sitting on a mountain of pea funnels. Let's go with that. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. It's a really good product. It was catching traction and whatnot, but unfortunately, I got caught up into a situation where I was trying to get my son at that time was younger. I was trying to get him away from a certain group of people. This group of people, they're a gang. I was just name names out. They were. I come to find out that they were invested with local law enforcement, where they were kind of being watched, looked out for, and so forth. These people didn't like the fact that I was trying to get my son out of that group. Mind you, these are people that I actually grew up with. I mean, I live in an area with everybody knows everybody. It's pretty much one of those towns that literally you play sports, you go to school. Everybody. So West New York, New Jersey. That's where I'm from. Square mile in the United States, west. It's called West New York. It's on the west side of West New York faces us on the west side, so they called us West New York.
Okay.
The square mile is the most dense square mile in the whole United States. You take that square mile and you can match it to any square mile in the whole United States, and they will outnumber anybody.
Wow.
Just to show you how many people in this square mile there is. It's at least about a 1-point-something million, counted and uncounted immigrants.
Wow.
And so forth. So this is where I grew up. I was born in Hoboken, down the road. I was raised in West New York. Know everybody knows me, and then try to get these things going and whatnot. Come to find out, I'm trying to get my son out of this situation. Little did I know that they were invested with and caught up with these corrupted police officers and detectives and so forth. So now I'm trying to figure out how to move forward. How do I go about getting my son out of this situation without somewhat walking on eggshells. Let's go with that. And then now the cops, they got a whiff that I was, had this going on and whatnot, and then they hacked my cell phone, they hacked my computers, they hacked everything. Your modem at your home, your TV modem, if the house modem, the router and all that gets hacked. Then they start scrambling your TV. This is going on for 5 years. I have no clue what's going on. I see that the TV blanking out, turning blue, and going to be digitalized every 5 seconds for 5 years straight. This is my TV. At that time, I lived with my mom. I took over her apartment. Her TV, my old TV's in the apartment. This is going on. Called Cablevision, Optimum. They send numerous people to come through. They couldn't figure it out. They said there was nothing wrong. They actually witnessed it. They kind of looked the other way. They don't know, and especially when I told them that I had reported police corruption, because eventually I ended up reporting police corruption after what I was going through. So when I ended up I'm all over the place, and I apologize. It's just I'm really caught up in the moment right now. So, and I apologize. I'm all over the place, and do my best.
Let me slow you down for a minute. The product. I see that the product got caught up in what was going on. So you said you have a whole bunch of these products still, or you don't?
Bunch of them. Correct. No, I still have a whole bunch of them. I literally have about 50 cases of these, and they're about about a little less than 50. I would say maybe like 47 cases, and they're about 1,000 units per case.
Okay.
I ended up giving out some samples in the beginning. That's how I got the 5,000 singles in order to get some traction, get the work going, and so forth. I did mix a couple of small sales along the way, but nothing that can be accounted for. Then I tried submitting it to Shark Tank. Shark Tank was interested, but I had gotten locked up when I was younger. That kind of conflict of interest with the agreement that they send you, the application. That went to an attorney. He looked it over and said you can't do it because they're gonna deny you. You know, you might get on the show, you might be able to pitch it, but then once they find out that this situation you had, they're gonna deny you. So then I went along and moved the product with my brothers and my younger brothers, the business and everything. And then the pandemic came, and I lost my brother. My brother pretty much was one of the first people that went in the first wave. The pandemic hit us. Was it March, February? By March, the end of March, he got sick, and by April 9th, he was gone.
Yeah.
So it got abandoned. 2 years after that, I lost my dad. 5 months after my dad, I lost my mom. So there's been hit after hit after hit. So everything's pretty much on the back burner right now.
Okay. All right. So we'll talk about the product later, because I'm just thinking a lot of TIs are in their cars, this and that, women, and there may be some interest there. So we'll see when we open up if anybody's interested in that.
That is actually how I got inspired. I was actually the girl that I was talking to, the person I was dating back then. She was on the speakerphone. We were on our way to New York City, couldn't go to a lounge. We were looking for parking. She needed to use the bathroom. She kept saying, I need to go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom, and then she all of a sudden blurted out, I wish I could pee like a man. And I took that idea and ran with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So we'll talk about that. We'll put that on the back burner. Now, can you talk a little bit about the you mentioned a few things that happened with when they started hacking you and so forth. So I would like to talk a little bit about some of the tips, the things that you learned while you were going through the TV and the cell phone and all, if you learned anything that you could share with us. And then I would also like to talk about, then you have something about robocalls where people can, post lawsuits because of the robocalls. I knew about that, but I didn't know about, you have an attorney and a price and everything else. So let's first talk about the things that we can do around our home to make it safe, and then get into the robocalls after that.
Okay, so let's get into that. So now, when things hit the fan, I started noticing that my phone was acting weird. It was heating up really bad. The volume, I couldn't hear it. Games that I would play on the phone wasn't working properly. Emails weren't getting received or sent out. Full schedules. I had to pitch the product with CVS. I was, when I had call schedules set up and all that, they were interfering with that. I ended up losing that deal. They wanted to put the product on their .com, and I ended up losing the deal because of these people. So when I started realizing that my phone was acting a certain way, then I started just paying attention. Because first I went to an attorney. I talked to the attorney. They thought I was paranoid. At that time, I was also taking Adderall to help me focus with my ADHD and smoking weed. I do smoke weed on a regular basis because of the back pains that I suffer from. So all these things I ended up giving up, stopped completely, because there was no way that people were going to tell me I'm paranoid and I'm crazy and I didn't know what I was talking about and I'm making things up. Now I need to focus. Now I need to watch everything that's going on, and that's exactly what I did. I just started focusing on everything. To some extent, I don't know, I've never experienced this, but it got to the point, something like people tell me I opened up my third eye, where I started seeing things before they even happened, meaning that I can predict that these people were about to do things before they even did it, so I was watching everything they were doing, if that makes sense, like in slow motion in your head. I don't know how to describe it, but this is what I went through. And it was really scary because, people don't go through this. Anyways, I'm watching everything. So I start dissecting my phone. I'm starting breaking every little detail of the phone, all the settings. I open them up, click on every button. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And then I took my sister's phone, my mom's phone, everybody else's phone, and I started comparing. Why was my phone acting different from theirs? Completely different. Even the viewing changed, the settings. So back then I noticed when I would type into the settings, let's say Facebook. So I would type into settings to browse Facebook. Normal phones, Facebook would pop up just Facebook. Hack phones, it'll show Facebook and then all the shortcuts under. When you get all the shortcuts popping up under, I don't know if it's separated now because this is a while ago, but back then that's what showed that your phone was hacked. Now, mind you, I ended up going to Internal Affairs. I even went to the Attorney General's office and I made complaints about what was going on. The stuff never stopped. So now I'm on my own, trying to figure things out and just monitoring everything. Between the TV, the phone, the computer, and then, so long story short, I started breaking down into the emails. So in the emails, when I got to that part, I started typing in, let's say if I'm going to write a letter to somebody, I would type in one letter, and when you type in one letter, it'll give you a list. Let's say I typed in G for GoGi. It will come up, GoGi, Grace, so-and-so and so-and-so, anybody with G's, it will come along. Then I started noticing that I was getting emails in my phone of cops, people from schools, people that I never even talked to. Their emails were popping up on my phone. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is something that's happening on the back end, and I'm just popping up now and finding it. So then I'm starting to record all these things, and these people are literally starting to erase all this on their end. They started erasing my analytics. Analytics is what you have on your phone when you see it on the iPhone. You won't see it with Android because Android doesn't have it. But analytics is like the footprint of your cell phone. Literally everything that you do on the iPhone, it shows up in analytics. And they ended up deleting days and days of analytics. That's when I went back to the Attorney General's office, and I said, look, this is what's happening. They never responded to me. Now, I know for a fact that they know what's going on because the minute somebody reports any type of situation and they believe it's a lie, they come after you. Not once have they come after me. And I've made over 7 reports already. So cable haunting comes from the TV with all the spikes that I had. When I started searching on the computer, that's the name for it. It's called cable haunting. That's when the screw around with the modem, they can even hack your computer. I mean, not your computer, your TV, change the channels on the TV where you like right now, if I put on my TV channel 7. Channel 7 used to go right in. Now I have to hit channel 7 point, whatever number I need to put in order to work the proper way, not the factory way. So these are little things that I know that's been hacked. I had a prior TV to this one. This is a smart TV. The one I had before wasn't smart, and they hacked that TV. That TV, they were turning on and off on me while I was sleeping. These people were just fucking with me. Excuse the language. They were just messing with me on a regular basis because they were scared that I was going to oust them, and then their empire was going to fall to some extent. Because what they were doing is they're using the same technology that they're supposed to use to watch people. They were using it to shake down drug dealers. And that's where the big picture was. These guys were paid, hired cops to watch out for drug dealers and gangs and whatnot. So anybody that was willing to pay these people to get these type of services, they will look out for you and they will shake down your competitors. And that's what it came down to. It came down to that they threatened me through pop-ups on my computer on 6 to 7 different times. I got pop-ups saying, Ted, stop what you're doing. You're going to lose everything. Now, when they meant everything, they meant towards my product because they knew I was trying to launch it. Little did I know that I literally going to lose everything. I lost my brother, my mom, my dad. I don't know if it's related to them, but you never know with the way the government works here in the United States. So cable hunting, if your TV picture is acting up, that's called cable hunting. Even if you call your cable company, they're not going to do anything because this is the government and they won't touch it. They'll come out. They'll even charge you for it, but they won't do nothing about it. Now, the cell phone, when your cell phone is hacked, there's full SIM jacks. That's when they hack the SIM card on the cell phone. Once they hack the SIM card of the cell phone, they have complete control of your cell phone. That's what my phone is. Complete control of the cell phone where they can direct where my calls go. I may think I'm calling you, but I'm calling somebody else. You may think you're calling me, but that number may be redirected somewhere else. I even got text messages from people that I thought it was them and it wasn't them. For example, I had a girl that I was dating or messing around with at one time, and that person sent me a text message. She sent her a new picture, which she had never done before. She kind of caught me off guard. And when I reached out to her, she said it wasn't me. So they can redirect emails, they can redirect SMS, they can redirect. Then I went even further and got away from the iPhone and almost a year.
Pat, we can't. Yep. You're going in and out right now.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I was going to say something moving around. So it went even as far that I stopped using my cell phone for about a year. What did I learn throughout that year? I learned that the pain that I have been struggling with for the last 20 years was stemming from the cell phone. It wasn't nothing else. It wasn't natural. When I would go to the doctor asked me what's wrong, and I would tell him, Doc, it's pain, but I can't describe it because I couldn't. It wasn't natural. It wasn't normal. It felt nerve. It felt inflation. It just felt completely different than I've ever felt in the past. So when I stopped using my cell phone throughout the year, and I wasn't in the apartment, I felt great. But then I would walk into the apartment where there was Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and the pains would come back.
Okay, so wait a minute. So you're saying that your pain was being experienced when you had the cell phone around you, and without it.
And it's like that right now. It's like that right now. When I'm next to my cell phone or Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or anything connected to the internet, they can attack that device, and then they'll send those frequencies to hurt. Whether it's back pains, a loss of sleep, the pains in the groin area, itching. They can make you itch. They can mimic anything. My foot. I had a foot accident when I was a kid. They targeted that foot out of nowhere. I went to the doctors. I was getting shots, cortisone shots for the foot, cortisone shots to the back, epidural shots to the back. I got a proof of disability in 2018. I was legally disabled. That didn't work out. I ended up trying to get back into work. I did security. I'm doing now. I'm a driving instructor. So I found out that it's literally the phone. Your biggest enemy is your phone. Your biggest rat is your phone. Your phone, everybody's so attached to it, not realizing that the phone is the biggest enemy. It's got all your information. It can read all your biometrics. It has your face. It's got your fingerprint. It's got your voice. I can be next to you and never use the phone again, but any phone that I'm near is going to pick up voice recognition. It's got you that phone. Little by little, we have become. People don't realize it. We are the only ones who are making noise about something like this. Everybody else is putting it to it. And everything I've tried in the past, no matter how much I tried to veer away from what I was dealing with, started going a different path. God chose this path for me because I keep getting directed to you, and here I am.
Okay, so, wait. It's a little gobbly right now.
Yep. So at the end of the day, I've learned it's Wi-Fi, and even electrical outlets that are causing all these things. In my experience, have I walked outside without my cell phone? It's always when I'm near other businesses, other people that have Wi-Fi, only things to that effect. But if I'm out in the field and there's nothing around me, I'll be nothing.
Tell me about the outlets. Like, what can we do about the outlets? And I need you to. We're not hearing you that well.
Okay, so with the outlets, when I'm sitting where I keep my chair in my room, there's an outlet like literally right behind me. So how have I been able to curb these attacks? Because the attacks didn't just stop on their own. I mean, I still get it from time to time. But what I've done is, in my situation, I actually know people that I believe are the ones that put me on the list. Starting from the captain of the West New York Police Department, a guy named Sergio Sanchez. I had a relationship with his cousin. I didn't know that they were cousins. I ended up talking to her about him, and, explained to her, listen, pillow talk, we had just, did our thing. We're having pillow talk. I told her, listen, in my business, things work out. I'm going to, write a book, how my life went from a negative to a positive, and so forth and so on. And then I mentioned to her that I had a situation where a cousin, I didn't know they were cousins at that time, but I mentioned the person by name. And she stood quiet. She didn't say nothing. All she did was hear me out. Now, this person stopped me in the corner and stripped me down to my underwears and had me check thinking I was selling drugs. Didn't find nothing. I was going to put that in the book. Now, she took that information. She played along like everything was fine, and then they started plotting. So now my thing is, after everything was said and done, and when I realized that who she was, I got to an attorney. And I spoke to the attorney with my brother when he was alive. While I was at the attorney's office, she literally called me and told me just like this, if you try to fuck me, I will destroy your life. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because she didn't know, I didn't know that she knew that I was there because of the phone. I was, explaining to the attorney, this is what I believe is happening. And when she called, that solidified it right there. Now, right there, I knew that everything was going through the cell phone. They can hear you. They can, everything. So then right there is when I really started watching everything on a quiet note. Later on in life, when I got tired of all the attacks, then I started bringing it out in noise, meaning I started posting about it, and I started putting people's names on it. When I started calling people's names out there, like the cop, the retired police officer, captain, or her cousin, then my attacks died down. Literally died down to the point I get them just barely. Now, whenever they hit me, I put a post about them, and I'll talk about the West New York Police Department, how much of a cokehead they are. Or I call out the cousin for her. So his cousin, she ended up setting up her husband. So her husband cheated on this person, and what they did was they set him up, and then they had him deported. And then after they got him deported, this person would go visit that guy in the prison at the other country. Because she was married to him. She had kids with him. But she ended up setting the guy up. And she would tell me this indirectly when she was drunk, and then directly at the end. And I kept quiet. I just held that information because it didn't pertain to me at that time, not knowing that later on that information is going to be valuable. And that's where I'm at. That's it. Now,
okay, so
I started watching the robocalls. I started getting robocalls on a regular basis back then as well.
Right.
And it was too extreme with the robocalls. It was a natural. I was getting them like every 5 minutes. And this is their form of gang stalking. So if you're getting calls on a regular basis from different numbers and whatnot, this is a form of gang stalking. I didn't know that I was gang stalking at that time. I found this out once I got in contact and affiliated or connected with you guys, with the targeted justice. This is when I found out a lot of things. I thought I was dealing with this from like 2015, 2016, but this goes back easily 20 years or maybe even longer than that. So the robocalls, when they were threatening me, I started talking to them. So I would talk to these people. Like literally, I would put things on my notes on my phone, and they would answer me in certain ways. And I would tell them, if this is true, send me 2 robocalls. If this is a lie, send me 1 robocall. And they were doing it. So I knew it was linked to them. So that's when I started paying attention to robocalls, and that's when I ended up using robocalls later on as my niche. Because that's one thing I can definitely put up on it. Now, I'm going to backtrack a little bit because I almost forgot the one part. When I stopped using my cell phone, my parents were kind of upset because they couldn't get in contact with me when I was out. So they did was they went and got on me an Obama phone, an Android. Now that phone was actually even worse because it's still on the phone. So I went did the same thing I did with the iPhone. I dissected it to every little key on the set. What did I find out? That in the settings, if you go on the Galaxies, more so, if you go through all your settings, you get permissions, where they say permissions where you're allowed certain things to do to be allowed to happen or not happen. The permissions were written out not to the owner, but written out to the hacker. For example, they'll say camera. On the camera, they'll say you can take pictures, videos, so and so and so and so. You can do this without the owner's consent or awareness. And I was like, wait. This, like, that blew my head up. Like,
wait a minute. Wait, Ted, you're saying that in the Obama phone settings right now, it says that? That's what you found?
So when you go through the settings and you go through the permissions and all that, the one that I actually have a GoPro video of it in case that, I couldn't get back into it. I have like an hour and a half recorded of just footage off the phone, and I clicked on every little thing and showing everything that was showing. It shows that emails can be redirected and the owner will never know, and it can either you can have control of it or they can receive it. Text messages, phones, pictures, scheduling, cameras, audio, everything was being talked to as a hacker, not as the owner. Yeah, so you can do this and this and this without the owner's consent. You can do this and this and this without the owner knowing. You can do this and this and this and that without, so forth and so forth and so forth and so forth. And I have to literally footage of it.
That's very interesting. That was a mistake. I'm wondering if that was only on that phone. Like you got
with the iPhone, I remember when I was telling you about earlier, with the iPhone there was mistakes also there where I was doing the typing on the emails, like if I was about to write out an email to somebody, and I literally went through the whole alphabet, and in each letter I started getting names of emails that I've never corresponded with, people I didn't even know, but I know they were affiliated with the Board of Education and the police department.
Okay.
So that's where I got my inspiration from, the cell phone, on the iPhone, where I started breaking it all down. And then when I got the Obama phone, that one was easy. It took it to another level because that one was the verbiage was talking to a hacker. It wasn't talking to the owner. Like everything was directed as a hacker, per se. So I started recording it. I had to get it. So now when I was recording the GoPro, check this out. While I was recording it with the GoPro, they kept turning on and off. Well, not on. They kept turning off my GoPro. So I had to keep turning it back on, recording, turn it off, turn it back on, recording. This was going on while I was in my apartment. Now, the people upstairs from me, my neighbors, they're part of the gang stalking. They're affiliated with these corrupted cops. They try to get me to act a certain way to try to get me in trouble and so forth. And I went to prison. I've been locked up. I've been around people that are real POSs, and these people are wannabes. And I just kind of watch. But I know who's who and who's not in my area, and I can call them all out.
Okay. So let's back up for a minute. So basically, you're saying that you were able to stop a lot of the impacts and things that were going on in your body because you stopped using the phone. What did you say that you did with the
what
outlet?
I did was I stopped using the phone. When I stopped using the phone, that's when I realized I wasn't feeling these attacks. Anytime I was actually feeling the attacks when I didn't have the phone was when I walked into the apartment. Because now I'm under the Wi-Fi and whatever other frequencies are in the apartment. I'm pretty sure they had in the apartment, you know how they break into the apartment, they set up Bluetooth and hearing devices and all that. So any of those devices that set up around your apartment, that can be used and triggered to attack you. Anything that's connected to Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, they can use to hurt people through the EMF, electromagnetic fields, electromagnetic radiation frequencies. This is how they hurt people. So basically,
it's better to keep your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth off and use your phone as low as possible. Is that?
Yes. Use your phone and put it up to your ear. If you have a headset or Bluetooth, use it only when you talk. When you're done with it, take it back off. Because remember, the Bluetooth in your ear is always searching for that phone. It's always sending a signal out. Those are the frequencies that they can tweak to hurt people. I've gotten the clicking in the ear. I've gotten back pains to the point that I couldn't walk. I had to get the door shut. That ends up in the emergency room. All these things, little by little, dwindled away when I started calling them out for what they are. Started calling out the police department for the corruption. I started calling people out by their names. And if I'm wrong, I would have people knocking on my door right now trying to sue me for defamation. Nobody's knocking on my door for defamation, meaning that I'm spot on. I've had literally about 10 to 12 pages on TikTok taken down every time I hit something on the nail, whether it's with the phone, with the Bluetooth, with the cable hunting, or so forth. They take my pages down. My first video that went viral, that's posted right now on my TikTok page, was me showing an iPhone 4 having a reset, hard reset, where you hit the button, the turn off button, and you hit the side button, you do a hard reset. It showed 50% before I turned it off. The phone rebooted, turned back on, it was at 100%, and it quickly drops down to 85%. That video hit 200,000 views within hours, and they took the whole page down. Now I got it back up, but what did they do? They changed the algorithm. So that's another thing I learned. We don't get views, our pages don't get views because they're changing the algorithm on our cell phones. They are literally in the background doing everything on our cell phones that we're not seeing. They change the hashtag codes. They change the algorithms. They shadow ban you. Anybody that's getting shadow banned means that phone has been hacked, and they're doing everything in the background so that phone not to operate the way it's supposed to.
Okay. Teodoro, can you tell us about the electrical outlets? You said that they use the electrical outlets, and you know of a way to stop that.
So with the outlets, what I learned was when I had the smart meters, I had posted about the smart meter. That was another one that went viral. I got almost 400,000 views. Smart meters are being used now in order for them. So now, if you have a smart meter, now they can literally tag into any of your devices from remote. Anything connected to that outlet with your smart meter, they have access to it. Not only that, but through the smart meter, it makes it easier for them to send these frequency attacks through to you. You might do me a favor, and this is everybody listening. When you've experienced pain, drop your phone, walk out of the house, take a walk, get away from everything. Give it a few hours and watch. You're not gonna have the same pain no more. The same thing with the outlets. When you're feeling a certain pain, nerve pain or whatnot, headaches or pressure in your head, if you don't have the phone on you, then it's more likely something connected next to you. Either unplug it or walk away from it and watch how quickly that just simmers down. You walk close to it again and it goes back up. So everybody was talking about 5G, how it's going to hurt everybody and so forth. It's here. This is happening. Mind you, I've never been a conspiracy theorist. I've actually, I shone upon it in the past, but here I am, one of them, because I'm living it. And I have to admit it. This is true. This is not fake. This is happening. This is the real deal. And I'll be damned, but I'm going to let somebody shut me up.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
With the outlets, my advice would be, if you have a smart meter, get rid of it. Get rid of it because with the smart meter, they're just making their job a lot easier. Now they have full access to your apartment or house, and they can tag into anything. Not that you can't do it without it, but the smart meter makes it that much easier. Also, these smart meters are also spewing electromagnetic frequencies. People are getting vertigo, headaches, nosebleeds, loss of sleep. This all comes from smart meters. This is the government knows this. This is all. So I've reached out to FCC. I've reached out to IC3.gov. I've reached out to everybody and their mother, and nobody's ever gotten back to me. But I've never been charged. Therefore, I know I'm hitting things on the head.
Okay. All right.
So with smart, so back again, holiday material. If you feel like you have like right now, when in the summertime. And I have the air conditioner on. The air conditioner is literally right behind my bed. I can feel the frequencies coming off it. What I do, I buy Faraday material out of Amazon. They sell them in sheets. You wrap up these outlets or these plugs, and it kind of blocks the frequency from spewing out. It contains it. I learned that helps. Then
wait. Let me hear that. Ted, you said that you take the Faraday fabric
material.
And put around material.
I put it around the cable, the plugs, or if you have a multiple outlet, usually the multiple outlets. That's usually one of the things that spews out the most electricity, because it actually have multiple outlets, multiple open sources. So what I do is I take the Faraday material and I'll wrap the plug up, the whole outlet, and whatever wires best as I can, and that contains, for the most part, the frequencies and they're coming off, spewing off the cables. Now with the cell phone, there's several products that you can buy. I have right now, I'm using a product called EMF Harmonizer. And what you do is you put it behind your phone inside your case, and it deflects some of these frequencies. The problem is that they know I'm doing this, so what do they do on their end? They up the frequencies to bypass the range of these deflectors. So I went from one deflector to 3 deflectors. I had 2 small ones for a cell phone, then I had one that they sell for the car, which is a bigger one, and I was still getting hit with these things through the phone. They do deflect, but if they're onto you and they're picking on you, they can high up the frequency. Just want to be clear about that.
Okay. All right. I want to...
I would say wrap up the phones, wrap up your plugs, anything you feel that's plugging, spewing out these frequencies, wrap up the Faraday material. They sell on Amazon these like netted cages that you can put around your Wi-Fi. That contains also the spewing of the frequency, the EMF that it spews off it. And then nighttime when you go to sleep, leave your phone away from you. Don't sleep with the phone next to you. Don't sleep with the phone under your bed. That's the worst thing you can do.
Under your bed, under your pillow. Most people have it under their pillow.
Right.
They want to be able to touch it.
That's the worst place you can have it.
Live without it. It's like attached to hands. You know, it's a different appendage.
That's the thing. They know that this is, people are really attached to the things, and they know this, and this is the easiest way for them to attack anybody. Literally, your cell phone is your biggest friend and your biggest enemy at the same time.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I want to open up to the community, Teodoro.
Real quick, no, wait. We haven't touched the most important part. The attorney. I found an attorney.
Right, the attorney for the robocalls. So, right.
Yes. So I'm always posting about robocalls on the TikTok and Instagram, and then I had this attorney that kept popping up. You get spam calls or robocalls or these type of calls, you need to do is text stop. Once you text stop, if that particular company continues to send you anything after that, then guess what? If you have proof of that, you take a screenshot of it. For every screenshot you have after you text stop, it's $1,500. I'm in the process right now suing 3 different people. One should be closing out soon. I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it.
When you get there, make sure you let us know. But you want to share the
now
information?
The attorney's name, he's on Instagram. His name is JIBRAEL _law. Gabriel _law. Now you reach out to them. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gaji.
Spell the first name again. I heard it's _law.
It's J as in James, I as in Iris, B as in boy, R as in Robert, A as in Apple, E as in Eva, L as in Larry. _ the word law after that, LAW. And that's through Instagram. Now, if you get one of these like text messages, that's where he's pretty much going with it. If you get a text message, now robocalls have gone to another level. Now you're not getting only calls. Now you're getting robo-text and robo-links. Or you get somebody soliciting you through a text, saying, how you doing, my friend, and whatnot. That's them. So robocalls, the meaning behind robocalls, robo-text, and robo-links, these are pink. The government literally has a profile on just about everybody in the United States. If you have a cell phone, guess what? They have a profile on you. Whether you're an immigrant, non-immigrant, American, non-American, everybody's getting these calls. Why? Because these calls are pink. They're not calling to talk to you. They're not calling to scam you. They're calling you to find out where your phone has been through these pings. That's how they watch you. That's how they monitor you. So that's why I'm always talking about robocalls. These are them tracking. So now, if you want to stop them tracking you, if you want to disappear from the grid, get yourself some priority material, wrap your cell phone in it, and guess what? No signals going in, no signals going out. You disappear for as long as you want.
Okay. All right. I want to give everybody a chance to ask you questions, and
sure.
I'm going to give you are you good with everything that you said? Do you have anything you want to add? And if not, we're going to open up. You may think of it along the way as people ask questions, but let's open up. And you're similar to
one more comment I have. Everything connected to the internet can eavesdrop on you and watch you and everything. On my cell phone, I keep my cameras covered 24/7. I've been keeping my cameras covered for the last 5 years. Both cameras are covered, the front one and the back one. I'm not going to make it easy on them for them to monitor me or anybody around me. I make it that much harder. I don't carry my phone everywhere no more. Whenever I have to go talk to somebody, I'll take a walk with devices next to me, and we can have an honest conversation. When you're around any device, they're eavesdropping. Whether it's your phone, whether it's Bluetooth, whether it's your car. Now Tesla just made a deal with New York City, with Eric Adams, before he got caught up in this big situation he's in. Tesla, Elon Musk has granted New York City the ability to request any data that's recorded from any Tesla. It's yours or anybody else. You have no right to that. He has all the rights to it. So any police that wants to get any type of data off a car that's a Tesla, guess what? They can get it for no problem. Now, if you're walking around the Tesla is recording you 24/7. Tesla's recording audio 24/7. So you're around any Teslas, don't do nothing wrong around them because it's going to record you and they can get to it. Your car's listening on you. The TV's listening on you. Your cell phone's listening on you. Any device that can be connected to the internet is listening on you. Just about everything. Just like that movie Demolition Man. That's the direction they're taking. All these movies that we watched when we were younger, these were all them telling us what's going to happen in the future, and here we are. The same thing like The Simpsons. They're constantly making these predictions. These predictions are things that they know about. They need to tell us about it in order so they can save themselves from the karma. By them telling us indirectly this is happening, this is how they believe they don't get direct harm. So what do? They put it into our movies. People don't realize it. Our government has a big portion of control in the Hollywood. They actually have a lot of money invested in there. Everything that we believe is done through Hollywood. For instance, we're going to the moon. You look at the videos look like crap. But everybody believes that happened. This is the government manipulating us through propaganda and everything to Hollywood. So people need to wake up. We are living a lie. Our government is not who we think they are. Our government, their special interests, as you can see, wars everywhere else, and that's it. It's not about us. It's all about the money. I'm on a daily basis, I'm talking to my clients. I'm a driving instructor. I'm putting them on to what's going on, what I'm experiencing, what targeted justice is all about, how people are getting targeted, how people are getting direct energy tagged to them. I tell everybody. They don't like it, but I'm doing it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I tell everybody. I get 5 clients a day. 5 clients a day, every day, different people on a regular basis, and they're all hearing it. My consistency, it's every level. And more people need to talk more. People need to put stuff on the cars, like I do in the windshield. And put hats, put shorts, and don't feel intimidated by that. Stand strong. And if you have any evidence against any corruption, put it out there. Because then, if you hit the nail, they're gonna leave you alone. Those attacks are gonna dwindle down. You gotta hit them back where they hurt, like they're hurting you.
Okay, Ted. Thank you. On that note, let's hear. We're gonna take a break for announcements and hear our first question. All right.
Yep.
Go ahead. All right.
Hi, guys. Hi, Teodoro. I really enjoyed your interview. And to everybody else, I have some video announcements. So if you're able to look at your screens, take a peek. Thanks. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Week in TI Events. On behalf of GoGi, I'm excited to share the latest events and initiatives she's leading to support our community. First, an important event announcement. The Refuge from the Storm Church community-wide Prayer for Justice call is rapidly approaching and will be held on Wednesday, October 30th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to mark this on your calendars and join us in prayer for justice. If you think you might be a targeted individual, check out GoGi's book, GoGi's 10 Signs Which Indicate You're a Targeted Individual, available on Amazon and the Targeted Justice Etsy shop. To stay updated on targeted justice, follow them on Rumble by typing Real Targeted Justice into the search bar and hitting follow. And while you're there, be sure to check out the TI World Day video, which premiered on August 29, 2024. Share it to raise awareness. And of course, keep up with GoGi on YouTube and TikTok, where you'll find recordings of past jams and other valuable content. And be sure to subscribe to her new Substack for additional updates. There's an important petition led by attorney Anna Toledo calling for an end to the Targeted Individual Unacknowledged Special Access Program. Visit the TI Events petitions page to sign and explore other TI petitions. GoGi is leading initiatives to raise awareness. If you want to join her at the inauguration to promote TI awareness, email the J.A.M project at proton.me. She's also seeking billboard donations to help fund TI awareness billboards across the U.S. To contribute, email the J.A.M project at proton.me with billboard donation in the subject line. Now let's talk about National Watch Listed Day, rapidly approaching in January, featuring boots-on-the-ground demonstrations at state capitals across the U.S. To join, email the J.A.M project at proton.me with boots on the ground in the subject line. Stay tuned for more details. GoGi is also collecting old phones for TIs in need. If you have a phone to donate, email the J.A.M project at proton.me with phone donation in the subject line. Lastly, GoGi is building a new resource directory for services like food banks and shelters. If you know of any resources to add, email the J.A.M project at proton.me with resource directory in the subject line. And don't forget to do your J.A.M homework and stay involved with the community. If you have TI-related events to list at TI Events, please email me at tievents@protonmail.com. Thank you all for tuning in, and a special thanks to GoGi for her initiative. For more details, visit tievents.org and sign up for email updates if you haven't already. Until next time, this is Tranquility signing off and sending you all waves of positivity. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
All right. So we have a lot going on. It's a jam-packed time for us, everybody. All right, so we're going to hear the first question, and we'll sum up at the end. All right. Thank you so much, Teodoro, for being here. Thank you for sharing from your life experiences. I love the product that you have, and hopefully we're going to do something great with it. So let's just hear the first question, and we'll talk a little bit more. Go ahead, please. First caller.
Providence, Rhode Island, you're up first.
Rhode Island, are you muted? You have to unmute. *6 for your question. *6. You want to come back to him, Tranquility? Is that Antoinette?
Okay, somebody's snoring. Welcome to the next one. Hi, Joshua. Joshua?
I'm here.
Your question, sir.
Okay, I'm in Glendale, Arizona, and I am going through National Security Agency psychological operations and brainwashing. I know it sounds different, but they're actually, I'm just bringing this up to expose this aspect of targeting that people might not be familiar with. I've been aware of my targeted individual status for 3.5 years, but this is a new part of it. It's very intense. They're also going into my religious beliefs. They're actually asking me to get baptized and indicating through street theater. So there's a religious component. They're using religion to control people. I think that needs to be addressed. They're going into people's lives and trying to dictate religious beliefs. So I know why I'm targeted now. I left the Mormon Church. I guess they can do that. So I just want exposure on an aspect of the targeting program that people might not be familiar with. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Joshua. So you're sharing with us that they are they're dealing with your spiritual component, probably because you left the Mormon Church. So they're you know, they love psyops, they love street theater, and you know, I just encourage you to document, because with these studies, with the psyops that they're doing, it means something. There should be a dollar amount attached to it, and so you don't know what your entry will be worth. Keep your log, your journals, and be as specific as possible with your entry. Okay?
Great. Yes.
Thank you for sharing. Mm-hmm. Next caller, please. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Gotti. It's Michelle. How are you?
Hi, Michelle. How are you? Always a pleasure.
Hi. I just wanted to say hi to Teodoro.
Hi, Michelle.
He was at my house. How you doing?
I've been to your house, Michelle. That's the New York people in the house.
This is New York. Yep. Yesterday I went to a meeting, and I was only able to catch the last part of it, and it was a meeting by the United Nations. This one with the Netherlands countries. Apparently, all of the different countries have like offices in different buildings throughout the city. So this one was on 3rd Avenue between 40th Street and 41st in a building on 3rd Avenue, 633 3rd Avenue.
Okay.
And they had a meeting on neuro rights.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, yes.
I
think, go ahead.
I just wanted to share that with you guys, that they're starting to talk about it, and I was urging them to have more meetings like that.
Okay.
Because they were saying they realized this is going to be the topic of the next century. So, they were discussing all the unethical things that are going on all over the world.
Beautiful.
So
I hope they're putting in legislation and doing things about it while they're discussing it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Later, I will give you the context that I made. And,
Thank you.
Yeah, you could see how you can best we have to bond with all of these organizations.
Yes, ma'am. We'll follow
and Teodoro, you're talking about everything that my mom is on the pulse of, in terms of the house and the EMF, and the phones and so forth.
So, by the way, if you're experiencing
yes.
any type of you feeling like when you have your phone If you're experiencing any type of nerve pain in your hand, that's from the phone. That's the EMF. Or if you're sitting next to the phone and you're feeling any type of like energy like that's bothering and hurting you, where you charge the phone, where you put that little hole, the plug in, that's where most of it's fused out. Turn your phone, face it away from you, that hole away from you, and watch how the signal, watch how that nerve pain dwindles away.
Oh, I like that. Turn that part away from you. Wow. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Well, Teodoro, I'm not going to take up much time. It's good to hear you here, and we have to get back together again.
We definitely do. We got to make things happen. We got to make noise. We got to keep making noise. That's the goal.
We got to. Okay, have a blessed night.
We have to work together. It can't be just one or two people. Yeah, like I was telling
you. It has to be
try to
a
get
lot
everybody that's on the phone list, and everybody maybe one weekend, everybody post something on their cars, post about it. We'll do a hashtag and just we got to get the word out. We got to get more people aware of it. You know, if I didn't know and I'm sure a whole bunch of people didn't know for X amount of years that they were targeted. You know how many other millions or thousands of people are out there that have no clue and they think it's something natural like I did at one time, but it's not. It's actually spewing from their cell phones.
That's right. Good advertisement for my book. That's why I wrote it.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
You go.
We have to
Absolutely.
do something to get the word out because people do not, they think it's their regular life. They think they're just having a hard life. But it's intentional, cruel activities against the person.
Listen, everything I've learned as I got older, and then more so in the last few years, our government is not our government. The United States is not a country. It's a corporation. It's all about making money. We are all literally cash cows. They're making money off us getting us sick, and they're making money off us being slaves for them. That's the American way. The new American dream is not stay in America and retire and get a home. The new American dream is get the hell out of America. That's the new American dream.
Well, I don't know any other place because they're doing it everywhere. But okay, thank you, and thank you for coming on the show.
If you go back and you think about it, even the food we eat is poison. Everything they're doing to us is literally hurting us in the long run. The FDA needs to get sued. The FDA needs to get sued because they're the biggest corporation that's being lobbied when we're the ones paying for it. We buy food. We believe that FDA is supposed to protect us, but in reality, they're looking the other way. They get in their pockets line, and we're getting killed in the long run.
Right. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you, Michelle. We're gonna move it along because it's getting late. Is it? Yeah, it's getting late. Okay. Yeah. So next caller, please. Thank you for coming on, Michelle. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Hello, this is Kim.
Hi, how are you? Hi, Kim.
Great. Hi there. Thank you. It was a great program tonight. I have a question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm wondering, I want to turn off all my Wi-Fi's at night, and I end up getting all these Spectrum setups that I don't have all day. Like just now on my cell phone, I noticed I had 9 Spectrum setups, and the other people that usually have a nickname or something during the day, it isn't the same as what these Spectrum setups are. I was just wondering, is there a way to stop that? Does Theodore know of any way? Or if you don't want to have Wi-Fi at your house, I turn my electricity off at night. Do you have any suggestions?
So with the Wi-Fi, what I do is I'll turn it off completely. I'll unplug it. And then the cell phone, what I do is I put it on the other side of the room facing away from me. And once I started doing that, I learned that I started getting longer sleeps. I was getting woken up every 2-3 hours where I was taking melatonin and Flexerol. Flexerol is a muscle relaxer. But when you take that muscle relaxer, it knocks you out. So I was using the combination of the Flexerol and melatonin just to try to hold at least 5 to 6 hours of sleep. Now I'm down to just the melatonin over the counter, and that's just because I need to get some type of sleep in order so when I go to work, I'm not falling asleep and people trying to drive around me. But the cell phone, people need to keep it away from them when they're sleeping. The further away, the better. And if you can unplug everything, even better, because then you're not going to get no EMF, whether it's through the electricity, through the Wi-Fi, or your cell phone.
So the Wi-Fi should go off even if I have the electricity turned off, and I make sure that the Wi-Fi is unplugged. Well, it shouldn't be working because there's no electricity, I would guess.
Now, if you have everything off, let me explain this. If you have everything off in your apartment, and all the devices are off, and you're still experiencing it, then you definitely have some type of bug or something set up in your apartment, and that's where they're attacking you through.
Okay, I think I might have some bugs.
So now there is a product out there that you can look up online where you can have like these camera finders or even an EMF reader. Like I ended up buying a tri-field meter which reads electromagnetic frequency, magnetic frequency, whether standard or weighted, and radiation frequencies. And I actually started recording everything and documenting everything. So like for instance, when I'm in my car, I have an Infinity FX35, and when I'm listening to music through the Bluetooth, because the car it's an older car, it doesn't have the capability to latch onto my phone, I bought a separate Bluetooth. Now sometimes I think I'm getting hit through the cell phone, and I'll put the reader to the phone, and it's not reading it. But then I'll put the reader on the Bluetooth that's connected to the charger, and I'm getting hit through there. So even your car, even these devices through your car, they can attack you through. They've disabled my car when I'm driving. They turn the power off, trying to get me to crash. They've altered the codes on my car where I walk out of the car and then all of a sudden the car locks on its own. They've altered the way that the computer operates, the sensors. I've had a check engine light for the last almost 2 years. Because every time I take it to the mechanic, they'll check it and they'll get strange readings where it doesn't show anything. Like it's unexplainable. And then I'll tell them, listen, this is happening because I'm getting retaliated. Once I tell them that I'm getting retaliated, I say they don't want to talk to me no more.
Wow. So you're thinking EMF meter would show something? Would show if I have bugs in my house? Is that right?
Absolutely, because the EMF reader is gonna pick up the frequency. So anything that's releasing any type of frequency, if it's skewing the frequency, the reader's gonna pick it up.
Okay.
Because I have a electromagnetic radiation detector, and that's not the same thing. I take it.
So I'm not sure which one you have. I have one that's called tri-field meter. That's the one I use, and has different dials on it where you can put a standard, electric or magnetic, weighted electric or magnetic, and then the radiation. Okay. So 1 minute, like for instance, when I have the cell phone connected to the outlet and it's charging, it spews. That's one of the ways it spews the most energy, like the most EMF. Like I get the most pain. But check this out. Whenever I'm feeling pain, I know it's being done directly and intentionally. What do? I quickly, now I used to stay quiet. Now I react. I'll post something about these cops where they're doing coke or about the person that I had a relationship, or I'll start copying and pasting a message that so I've tailored messages. So when I was trying to get the message out on TikTok, I was doing well, and then they started changing the codes and where it would dwindle down from X amount of views to barely nothing. So I'm like, oh, you wanna mess around with my postings, mess around with my comments now. So what I started doing, I started spamming everybody. I tailored a message, which I'm sure you guys, anybody that's TikTok that follows me, they may have seen it. It'll say, and let me read it to you, let me pull it up. This is what the message says. PSA, robocalls, robotext, and robolinks, such as Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, are resources utilized by cops to ping and track cell phones across the United States according to a person's patterns of life. And I'll take that message and I'll copy it literally every page that goes through my feed, one by one. Now, I went from nobody. If you Google TikTok, robocaller or cops, you're going to see the last time I checked 489 million. Now, that's not all through posts. That's mostly through spamming comments. Now, when TikTok had the option about 6 months back where you can repost a video, you click on the dot, it will repost it, and at the same time when you repost it, you just attach a message to it That's where I blew up. That's where I got the most at that time, and it just went from there. Like my message, I've literally reached 289 million views, not through posting, but more so through comments.
Okay, guys.
Wow.
All right, so
Thank
we're going to end right there. Yes, thank you so much, Kim. Thank you for your question. Teodoro, thank you so much for coming on the call. Thank you for sharing your information, and I hope that everybody benefited from it. When you come back, guys, come in and say goodnight to Ted. Say happy birthday to our birthday girl, Lady T. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining the J.A.M. Thank you, Tranquility, Lady T, Major P, Teodoro, everybody who joined the call today. Thank you, G.I. Jane, Kim, everybody who has sent me articles and so forth, Liliana. And I hope you all have a great, great, and safe week, and that we meet back here next week. This is GoGi's. So glad to talk with you. All right, guys.
Good night, guys. Thanks for everything.
We're going to open up 1 minute, Ted.
As a guy, you'd like to have certain things. I think men are a bit more needy than what women are in certain ways sexually. So, yeah, I think it's fine. I don't think you should be hard on yourself at all.
Thank you so much.
I think you've checked on the right choice.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, it's definitely the right. If you were to choose one or the other, this would be the one to go for. No, I think you're doing really well. And yeah, sure.
Thank you, guys.
Definitely. So if you'd like to come and see me again, you're more than welcome.